I'm Natasha.
And I'm Kate.
And we are Sridaiva teachers and body workers at Rising Spiral Massage in Austin, Texas. We are going to teach you kitty cat pose, and it's a pose you can practice at your office, in your kitchen, anywhere there's a wall, anywhere you are. So if you happen to be in a C-shaped posture from driving, being at a desk, pretty much any time of your day, on your phone, or if you're sad, kitty cat pose is the medicine for that. So we're gonna open our bellies and lengthen our stomach and get springy in our feet and our heart, our whole bodies. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys this pose, and Kate is going to do kitty cat pose for us. So we'll walk through the steps together. So you'll see that Kate's feet they're wide, probably about a little bit wider than in our hips width distance, and she's facing her wall. So in Sridaiva and kitty cat pose, the first component, and often the most challenging component, is radiant heart. So she begins by lifting from the very center of her rib cage, floating her ribs upwards towards the ceiling. So the rib cage as a whole unit, even her side ribs, the back ribs, and the front, 360 degrees, start to lift upward, like two hot air balloons filling up. So she begins the inner buoyancy and ascent of her inner body. She floats her arms forward and up, and notice the placement of her hands on the glass here. So her hands are at shoulder width height, and her fingers are bent. So often in the nervous system, when we're scared, our fingers want to do the opposite. So in Sridaiva, we are practicing the opposite of a frightened nervous system. We are softening and opening essentially the most vulnerable parts of the body, especially the underbelly and the throat. So you see she has a little sway. The poses are very dynamic and full of movement. So she walks her feet a little bit back, and see how she's pushing her toes down, all toes, and her heels are lifted. Just a few centimeters off the earth. And so you see also that her knees bend forward towards the glass. So she keeps her radiant heart first and foremost. Her knees bend forward, and she pushes her toes down into the earth. Yeah, she's springing. So she imagines she could kick her feet up towards her glutes to ignite the backs of her legs. Then she widens her knees into my hands, and this helps to fire the glutes. So the posterior chain of muscle from the toes, calves, hamstrings, all the way up to the glutes begins to ignite, and she has the full heart to lead the way. Yeah, so here the shoulders broaden, and she lifts her belly up from the inside out. So her hands are kind of ornaments. She can lift them and lengthen them. Yeah, so she's floating from the muscle integrity, the action of her own body. Yeah. So it's the opposite of a C shape. It's lengthening. Yeah, awesome. So see, she has a rounded back. She starts to lose the natural curve of her lower back. Chin is down into her throat. And so, Sridaiva, like a blooming flower, like open heart, full and lifted. And it's gonna be maybe even a bit of a challenge, no matter where you are in your practice, to keep the back ribs full. Even the lowest ribs here float up and up and up. Whole rib cage. So you can practice it anywhere, anywhere there's a wall. And so from here, she can lift a hand to the back of her head, elbow forward and up, and she pushes her head back softly into her hand. She has now a way to practice toning the back of the neck. And see how her chin is open, her neck is long, just like her belly. She can do the same with the other hand, switch arms. And she has space to play and lift a leg, widening a knee, lifting a leg up. And she keeps the action of her left foot. So she's still pushing out through the left toes, the right toes. And see how she can move her hands to the right, to the left. Plenty of space to play. And she keeps her heart lifted the whole time. And that's kitty cat pose.